Imagine a prison you enter once, and there is no way out. A place where inmates know they will spend the rest of their lives behind bars. This is not a facility for ordinary criminals. This is where some of the world's most violent, ruthless, and terrifying gang members are held. Men who once ruled entire neighborhoods and killed without hesitation. Now they are prisoners, confined inside a maximum security fortress where they live like walking corpses. The name of this prison is CECOT. It was built to hold El Salvador's most notorious criminals and is now considered one of the most secure, toughest prisons on the planet. In today's video I'll show you the prison's terrifying security systems and reveal what life is really like inside this brutal lockup, how it's run, and how inmates spend their days. Please watch the whole videos. CECOT was constructed in 2022 when El Salvador's President, Nayib Bukele, launched a massive crackdown on gangs. For a long time El Salvador had been under the control of infamous gangs such as MS-13 and Barrio 18. They spread murder, extortion, drug trafficking and merciless violence across the country. Ordinary people were afraid to leave their homes. The gang's power had grown so great that in many places they were stronger than the police and even some government institutions. In 2022 President Bukele announced an extraordinary security campaign. Within just 16 months, more than 70,000 gang members were arrested, a number equal to about 2% of the country's adult population. To hold so many prisoners, CECOT was built, a massive, fortress-like complex where stepping inside is like entering the last chapter of your life. CECOT is now one of the world's largest and most secure prisons, with a capacity for 40,000 inmates. Surrounding the facility is a 9-meter-high concrete wall topped with 3 meters of electrified barbed wire carrying 15,000 volts. 90 watchtowers and 600 soldiers stand guard around the clock. State-of-the-art CCTV cameras record every single move made by every inmate throughout the compound. All mobile networks and radio signals, both inside and outside the prison, are completely blocked, cutting off any contact with the outside world. Even the guards keep their identities hidden, because inmates could seek revenge on officers through gang networks outside. Entering CECOT is like entering a battlefield. First, prisoners must pass through multiple security checkpoints that use high-capacity body scanners, devices that can detect hidden objects on a person's body. Biometric scanners are used to make absolutely sure prisoners aren't bringing in any contraband. They can clearly detect whether someone is carrying illegal items. All new inmates have their information entered into a digital database so they cannot hide their identity by any means. Any visitor who wants to enter must submit to hours of body searches. Nothing that could be used to kill another person is allowed inside. All the guards wear masks to protect their identities. They must hide who they are because inmates could use outside gang networks to take revenge on officers. CECOT is primarily a punitive prison, not a rehabilitation center. There are no educational programs, no jobs, no opportunities for personal improvement. The single rule is simple and brutal. You will spend your life here. The prison contains 8 huge cell blocks. Each block has 32 cells, and each cell can hold between 80 and 150 inmates. That leaves roughly only 0.5 square meters of space per prisoner, about 5.4 square feet, so cramped that if one person lies down, another cannot. Prisoners sleep on metal bunk beds without mattresses, pillows or blankets. There are no windows, so there is almost no airflow. Lights are kept on all night so inmates can never fall into darkness. Each cell has only 2 toilets, shared by 80 to 150 people. Food is extremely basic and scarce. Every day inmates receive plain rice, some vegetables, and a bread made from wheat or corn. No meat or nutritious meals are provided, and over time many prisoners suffer from malnutrition. Many of the inmates in CECOT are gang leaders who rarely speak openly about their lives. One prisoner, nicknamed Psycho, said he entered the criminal world at just 11 years old. He claimed that to join, you had to kill someone you knew, which is what happened to him. He says he personally killed more than 50 people. Now he will spend his life in a cell. He has a child, but he last saw that child when the child was only 5 years old. That child is now over 21, and may never see his father again. CECOT has sparked intense debate. On one hand, it has proved extremely effective at reducing crime. El Salvador was once one of the most violent countries in the world. At one point about 104 murders per 100,000 people per year. But after CECOT and the broader crackdown, that rate reportedly fell to about 4 per 100,000, making the country one of the safer places in the region. On the other hand, many innocent people have been arrested and are being held in CECOT, and their families. Families of the inmates often don't even know if their loved ones are still alive. Life inside CECOT is not only physically unbearable but also a psychological nightmare. Prisoners spend every day staring into a hopeless future with no chance of release. Unlike in most prisons around the world, where inmates can sometimes see their families, write letters, or make phone calls, here, every form of contact is completely banned. They have no idea how their families are doing, whether anyone still waits for them, or if they've been forgotten forever. Inside sect, there is no difference between day and night. The lights are kept on 24/7, robbing prisoners of any sense of natural time. After months and years like this, they lose track of time completely. Their sleep cycles collapse, and their minds begin to break. Many prisoners sit silently staring at the walls. They don't talk, they don't laugh, they show no emotions. It's as if their humanity has been stripped away and they've turned into machines. Here, punishment is not only about physical confinement, it's about breaking the spirit, destroying hope, and erasing identity. When Nayib Bukele became president of El Salvador in 2019, the country was one of the most dangerous places in the world. At that time, the murder rate was about 104 per 100,000 people. The infamous gangs MS-13 and Barrio 18 controlled the nation, often stronger than the police themselves. Bukele promised to end the reign of criminals. In 2022 he declared a nationwide state of emergency. Within just 16 months, more than 70,000 people were arrested, almost 2% of the country's adult population. As a result, El Salvador's murder rate dropped dramatically, marking a historic shift. But the question remains, is this true justice, or authoritarian repression? Internationally, CECOT has sparked two opposing views. Some argue it is a highly successful crime-fighting strategy. Once one of the most violent nations on earth, El Salvador is now considered one of the safest in Latin America. On the other hand, human rights organizations claim CECOT represents a severe violation of basic rights. Thousands have been detained without proper evidence, and many innocent people may be imprisoned for life. The United States, the European Union, and various rights groups have condemned conditions inside CECOT as inhumane. They argue that while crime must be controlled, it should never come at the cost of human dignity. Today CECOT prison stands as one of the most controversial places in the world. For Salvadorans, it is a fortress of safety, but for many others, it is a symbol of state cruelty. The inmates were once a threat to society. Now they are trapped in permanent captivity. So the question is CECOT true justice, or is it simply the government's extreme weapon against crime? What do you think? Does CECOT's brutal system actually work as a deterrent, or is it just oppression? Share your thoughts in the comments. And if you found this video insightful, don't forget to give it a like. See you in the next episode. Thank you for watching.